show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, welcome to the channel, welcome to the Blue Lounge, welcome to the Chelsea pensioners, welcome everyone. Listen, thank you all for jumping on. There's 35 of you in the house already. Please smash that like button for all the latest Chelsea transfer news. We've got a mad one today. We have a mad one. We have seen news popping up left, right and centre. I actually thought about making a video. The two lads on the screen have made videos, but I was thinking, you know what? As news is coming thick and fast, might as well do it live. Do it straight on the off the cuff, as they say. So big up to everyone and welcome to the stream. We have Max Burton potentially joining us later on, but we have got Stanford Sink Matt, and we have got behind the dugouts Kai in the house. Big up to you lads. How you doing?
Good, mate.
No comment. Hey, listen.
Not much to comment right now.
We are being left speechless by this transfer window. We are being left speechless because, you know, we all had a little bit of a boggle in the previous transfer windows with Chelsea signing toddlers. And you know what, Iqbal thought, do you know what? Let's give these guys what they want. Let's sign people north of 30. I was just say 40, north of 30. Yeah, Danny Welbeck, Henderson, John Stones. Even though John Stones looks like he's going to Inter Milan, we'll discuss in a moment. But yeah, lads, what is happening? What's going on? What is going on? Matt, I think you're on mute, Bob.
Oh yeah.
Yep, here we go.
Yeah, so it wasn't no comment before. Mate, you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What have we been asking for? What have we been asking for the last couple of years? Experience. Look, it's just one of those, isn't it? Like Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck, I don't see him coming in to fight for first team places. But if they up the standard in training, if they make people take, you know, one thing I thought was quite notable from Xabi Alonso's press conference this morning is talking about maturity, right? So he hasn't been, you know, like Enzo Maresca and Liam Rosenior were always like, it's a young squad, and it was. Xabi Alonso's not been saying that, but he did make a pointed comment, I think, about maturity being really important. And look, we're not signing these guys for like 7 years or whatever. It's we need to inject something into the squad. Like, look, Jordan Henderson, I don't love it, if I'm completely honest. Like, I'd have much rather we got Granit Xhaka, but if that's not on the table, that's not on the table. Fine. Jordan Henderson, Champions League, Premier League, international, kind of going to do the same thing with us as he did with England at the World Cup, right? Not really play a lot, just kind of be a vibes guy, a really expensive vibes guy. Danny Welbeck, 13 goals in the Prem last season. That is 4, 5, 6 times, six and a half times what Liam Delap got in 41 appearances. So look, it's wild.
Delap scored 1 goal last season, didn't he? Is it just the 1 goal? Two goals. Okay.
2 goals in 41 appearances, a 2.8% conversion rate, which is bad, man. I mean, it's really, really bad. And he's 22. Danny Welbeck's 35 and he scored 13 goals in the Premier League last season. If he gets 10 in 15, 16 to somewhere, whatever appearances off the bench and rotation and whatever, like, cool, man. Cool. I'm here for it.
I'm just concerned, is the comments working, people? Because I'm not seeing any comments in the chat. There's like 40 of you in here, but I haven't seen any comments in the chat. Is the comments working, or is there an issue with it? Because I'm just trying to see, because it says comments are open. If someone can try and post a comment just to see if they're working, because I might need to address that.
There's no comments on the actual YouTube.
All right, hold on. Okay, so let me see if I can fix that.
Oh, there's one.
All right, it's working. All right, it's working. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure that it was working and there was no issue. Yeah, guys, it's say hello in the comments. You're coming in, say hello, say wagwan, say big up, say anything. At least don't stress me out with the comments.
Everyone
sure
doesn't
if they're
know
working or not.
it's been such a weird.
Yeah,
day.
yeah. It has been one of the, it has been one of those. It has been one of those. All right, listen. I reckon we'll crack off with a video clip from Fabrizio Romano, telling us what's going on in regards to the striker situation, because it is a little bit of a weird one. And then we'll discuss it after. Let's have a look. Let's watch.
The biggest surprise, the most unexpected news of the day so far till early afternoon is regarding Chelsea. Because out of nowhere, Chelsea have started talks with Brighton and with the agents of Danny Welbeck. Yes, that...
Just got to say this. Danny Welbeck, I think, scored 3 goals against Chelsea last season. And he plays for Brighton. So, for now, we'll see.
Yes, that's Danny Welbeck, former Manchester United striker, who is doing very well in Premier League, despite his age, been doing very, very well for Brighton. 35 years old, so obviously an experienced option. But Chelsea want to include that kind of player. According to my information, Xabi Alonso is discussing internally with Chelsea owners and directors about this possibility to include an experienced striker as a backup option, and Danny Welbeck is seen as the ideal candidate for this opportunity. So Chelsea keen on Danny Welbeck. It's a serious possibility. The understanding is that the player is keen on the move, so Danny Welbeck is aware of Xabi Alonso mentioning his name as a possibility, and Danny Welbeck would like to go to Chelsea. So it's a serious chance, a serious possibility to see Danny Welbeck as new Chelsea striker in this summer transfer window, with some consequences, because there are some players that Chelsea no longer consider untouchable. For example, for Liam Delap, if there is a good proposal, Chelsea could be open to let him go. The player still wants to fight for his place at Chelsea, but Chelsea would open doors to an exit in this summer transfer window. Emmanuel Emega joined Chelsea this summer, but also for him there is a possibility to go in case of a good proposal. So there might be movement around these 2 strikers in the next weeks, and Chelsea see Danny Welbeck as a concrete, serious possibility up front for them.
So Liam Delap and Emega potentially exiting. Liam Delap, I get it. Even though he wants to fight for his place, he had a whole season to do that. Well, he wants to do it now. Okay, no worries. Emega hasn't really had a chance at Chelsea. He's literally come in this transfer window. Young player, some would say up and coming. What do you guys think? I mean, Delap out, Emega out potentially. Jackson is also potentially being talked about as leaving. Danny Welbeck coming in. Is this the right move? What would you guys think?
For Danny Welbeck, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. I wouldn't mind it. I'd probably feel more confident and more comfortable knowing that 15 minutes left of a game, João Pedro not finding the net, Cole Palmer stuff not finding the net, that we could bring on a player like Danny Welbeck to change the game a little bit, to maybe go out and get us that goal. Similar to like a Giroud or a Loic Remy, those type of players where, the amount of times we looked last season where you're thinking, we could really use that kind of player right now just to chuck on. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. Obviously not going to be your main starter. You're probably not going to get more than 15, maybe 20. I mean, we're not in that many, competitions, so he's not going to get many games. But I think he will provide something that I don't think at least Liam Delap, and it's a bit harsh on Emega because we haven't really seen much of him or know much about him, but at least I know Danny Welbeck can provide that, and he can do it because he's been doing it for multiple seasons at multiple clubs, and bringing him in means he won't score against us anymore either, which, it is always a benefit.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing, Kai. Yeah.
It's quite a low risk transfer. His wages aren't going to be high. The transfer fee is not going to be high. He's got 1 year left on his contract, so it is quite low risk. So if it doesn't work out, we don't lose too much into it. But it is also quite a damning. Like, we know our striker situation is not amazing, bar João Pedro, but it's quite damning to be that we've not even hit the first pre-season game, and all our strikers, apart from João Pedro, are trying to get him out the door, which is it's nuts, right? I agree with the Liam Delap thing. I agree with the Mark Gu thing. I don't think they're going to cut it. One season was enough for me for Liam Delap. The only one out of Omega, Delap, Mark Gu and Jackson that I would be quite comfortable keeping would be Nicholas Jackson, but I also think he's probably more likely to go at than all of them, because he's going to demand the most interest and he's also going to demand the most money. So that would be where it's going to go. But I wouldn't be opposed to Danny Welbeck, I'm not going to lie.
For financial gain, Nicholas Jackson makes more sense. But I think Margui and Delap are not really the level that we want. Omega, we haven't seen him play, so could he be? Could he not be? I'd want to see him given an opportunity. Matt, what's your thoughts on this?
Liam Delap, like I said it before, man, 2 goals, 41 appearances, despite being injured quite a lot, 2.8% goal conversion, got 3 assists against Hull in the FA Cup. Like, it's just not good enough, man. The thing is, it's not really his fault, though. He was a market opportunity. We didn't get Liam Delap because he was the guy that we needed. It was Ipswich get relegated, young 21 at the time, year-old English striker who's just got 12 goals in the league. Same as Garnacho. Liam Delap and Garnacho fall into exactly the same category for me. And when you think about how much we all wanted to see the back of Garnacho, it should be that times 5 for Liam Delap, because he got 5 times less output at the end of the day. So I think Liam Delap's got suitors as well, like already, and I think it's interesting that we're hearing about this now, because at the end of the day, Xabi Alonso's had the squad for a couple of weeks now. So it makes sense that we're starting to hear this kind of stuff, because there was talk about Newcastle being interested in Liam Delap, Everton are sounding him out, Chelsea have said they want 40 million for him. So I think Liam Delap will go quickly. I don't think that'll be an issue. Emmanuel Omega, what I think is interesting about this, and it's also the same thing that's interesting about these links to Danny Welbeck and John Stones and Granit Xhaka and Jordan Henderson, it's the fact that Xabi Alonso is clearly making these decisions. Do you know what I mean? Like, he has had Omega in the squad training for a little while now, scored a couple of goals in the behind closed doors games against Bromley and Crawley Town, and even with that, he's like, no, I'm good. And maybe it's the injury stuff, maybe it's the attitude stuff, because we heard a bit about that when he was at Strasbourg with Liam Rossigna, that there was a bit of an attitude problem, and that was potentially a concern with him coming in when we had Rossigna anyway. So the thing I think that's weird about Omega is we don't know how much we paid for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's here. He's literally training with the squad. He's been playing games in the preseason. We've got no idea how much he cost us. So I wouldn't expect anything else other than a loan, really. But yeah, I just think it makes sense, man. I agree with Kai completely about Nicholas Jackson, but at the same time, it is like, if we can get 65 mil for Nicholas Jackson from Aston Villa, we're probably not going to turn that down. Dastan Satpayev seems to be, appreciated by Xabi Alonso so far, so maybe he doesn't get that loan. We get Danny Welbeck, and we can give minutes to him, for instance. Maybe something like that happens. I don't necessarily expect us to go in for another striker, because it's hard to buy a backup striker, isn't it?
Matt, do you think with the 1 game a week scenario, João Pedro is able to play a whole season, barring injuries? Do you think that is something we can expect from him?
Yeah, I think so. I think we pretty much saw it last season anyway. It was the injury and the tiredness because he got used so much in the first half of that season. Do you remember? Because he came in at the Club World Cup, basically played every single game for absolutely ages, because when the striker situation happened and Cole Palmer got injured, he started playing in the number 10 as well. So he was getting played all the time. So yeah, I think that he can be I think he'll play 30 to 33 Premier League games next season, something like that, and then maybe Danny Welbeck is your cup striker or something like that. Gets 10, 15 appearances. I think that João Pedro has shown us that he can play a lot, but it will be better this time round, because we're not going to need to. We need to put João Pedro in the 10 because Cole Palmer's injured. and all we've got left is Facundo Buonanotte. So, you know, we've got Morgan Rogers, and do you know what I mean? There's, you know, we're looking at Alai Begovic as well. Like, you know, we're filling a lot of the other spots now. So I think João Pedro can play 30 to 33 games in the Premier League next season as our number one striker.
Let's we'll come back to Danny Welbeck in a second. I want to just to segue here. We've got some breaking news. Fabrizio Romano, broad agreement being finalised between Inter and John Stones, 2-year deal, €4 million net per season salary, deal being sealed soon. John Stones is a player that we were linked with. Literally an hour before we went live, we thought he was still on the cards for Chelsea. But Inter Milan have come in, and it looks like they have persuaded him. What's your thoughts on this one? Is this one that we should have been pursuing in a more assertive manner? Are we going to get another centre back? What's your thoughts on this one? And by the way, Chris, big up to you. I see you in the chat. I'm trying to reach out to you, Chris. Want to bring you onto the show. So keep an eye out for my DMs. I'll catch up with you. Possibly after the stream. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to slide into his DMs. Great content. I've seen his channel recently. Great content, up and coming Chelsea YouTube channel. Great rational perspective on all things Chelsea. So yeah, guys, those of you who are watching, Chris Chats CFC, go check out his channel. Great content. So the centre back. Are we looking at something to add? Because we've got a ton of centre backs. We are trying to sell them. John Stones was a experienced centre back that potentially could come in and do a job when and if needed. What's your thoughts on what's happening in the centre back position, lads?
300k a week, man. €4 million net salary per season is 300k a week. Like, I wouldn't have. Quick
maths.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have signed off on John Stones to play 15 to 20 games a season for 300k a week, even if it is a free transfer. Also, I think the Jordan Henderson news is a reaction to John Stones not going to Inter. I don't think it was ever going to be both of them at the same time. There's still
fair enough.
That's being talked about. Like, they obviously want this one leader, proper, like, in somewhere in the middle of the pitch, be it centre back or midfielder. Granit Xhaka, John Stones, now Jordan Henderson. So I like John Stones, and I was really here for it. The news come out this morning that it was a difficult deal to do, even though he was kind of up for it, just because of the wages, man. Like, we can't be paying John Stones 300k a week for 15 to 20 games a season, maybe. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you guys think about that, but although I would like, profile-wise and tactically, I think he'd have been great. I think that's well too much money.
Yeah, 100%. In regards to that salary, it's definitely a steep one, and I think that's why he's because I read a few reports suggesting that he was keen on Chelsea. He was linked with us in the past, but I think if Inter Milan are going to pay him that much money, then yeah, I mean, who's going to say no? Kai, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gutted because I would have liked him at Chelsea. I do get the wages side of things more so. I don't think it's the fact you can't pay it. I think it's more what happens if you do pay it to the rest of the players in the team. Especially, he's not coming in to be the big star. So the big stars that are on less money that have taken a drop because we haven't got Champions League football, it probably would upset quite a few players. Could it have been done in a different way? Could we have done a signing bonus / wages to get it on board potentially? You haven't got the big transfer fee to go with the wages. But yeah, we're not going to compete at 300k a week. We just wouldn't do it. So
sorry, that was per month. It's about 100k a week. Actually, just over. Sorry.
Well, the fact that you've just said 100k a week makes me go, why the hell are we not going for this? Because I think he was at 250. We're saying that he was at 250k at Man City, which I think works about 30 million a season. Handbrake turn, yeah. 100k a week's nothing. No, I do think it is, considering what we're being linked with now. We wanted an experienced player, an experienced head in the centre of the park. Great. You know, I think he's got something silly like 20 trophies at City. Ridiculous. You know, Champions League, Premier League, you name it, he's got it. I personally think that would have been a great signing to have in the team. Could it be because we are struggling to shift a lot of the other centre-backs out the door, which is why we haven't pursued it any further? I don't know, but the fact that he's going to be earning 100k a week at Inter, it seems like silly that we're sort of letting it slip through the fingers, but no. Especially if we're going to go out and get Henderson instead, in my opinion. But
I'm going to show you guys the Henderson report.
Let's a bit less than that. It's 75.
you make it worse, man.
All right, Matt, you're killing us, mate. You're killing us.
Quick maths, I've just actually calculated. It's 76,923 euros.
Peanuts.
Which in pounds is about 65 million pounds.
Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
So yeah, it must have just been because he wanted to go there then, because it's, you know, we would have paid that at the end of the day, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Matt, get a new calculator, mate.
No, I actually used it. I just need to not do mental maths in my brain anymore.
Stones is a here we go. Has it come out? I haven't seen it yet. It might just be my connection. All right, so Henderson. This is the other one that broke today, and it's one that took me by surprise. It took a lot of us by surprise, even more of a surprise than Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck, I kind of get it. Henderson, I'm a little bit on the. I'm not on the fence. I'm literally falling off the fence on the wrong side of the yard. Breaking, Chelsea lead race to sign Jordan Henderson as new midfielder. Another surprise for Chelsea Football Club. Tell me about it. Henderson can leave Brentford on a free transfer, and Chelsea are ahead in the race with two more clubs for the England international. Former Liverpool midfielder open to the move. Henderson, lads, talk to me.
No. No.
Oh, mate, I wish we'd have got Xhaka, man. I wish we'd have got Xhaka so much.
Just to confirm, what Chris has posted, it is a here we go. There you go. Yeah.
Go on.
See you later. All right, carry on, Matt.
I don't see Henderson getting much in the way of game time at all. I genuinely don't. I think it must be Xabi Alonso is looking. He's trained with this, like I said, he's trained with the squad for a couple of weeks now, and he must be like, I need an adult in the room. Do you know what I mean? I need an adult in the room. Someone to lead by example as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it's all, you know, it's all fine and good, Xabi being the manager and him having his team and stuff, but he needs there to be an adult present on the field. Like, even when he's training and stuff. Do you know what this is actually connected to in a weird way, which is news that is not being spoken about enough as far as I'm concerned? We're looking at Fraser Forster and Jason Steele as third choice goalkeepers, and they're both 35 plus as well, which is something we haven't had in a long time, and we should have had. Like, we sold Marcus Bettinelli to Man City, and we were like, we'll just put kids as the second and it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? So the way I see it now, you get Danny Welbeck is that adult striker. Jordan Henderson is your middle of the park guy, and we get a Jason Steele or a Fraser Forster, and then you've got someone in and around every part of the pitch who's an adult, like a proper adult.
Have you also noticed that he's going for English players, English senior players to do this, rather than, you know, I mean, yes, we heard about Granit Xhaka early doors, but you know. These are players that apparently Xabi Alonso has requested. So Henderson, you know, being you know, a player that has been around the block a few times, Danny Welbeck the same, coming in to add a bit more experience and a bit more maturity, not only on the pitch but also off the pitch. Do you reckon that's the idea behind it as well?
I think Dave Fallows has probably got something to do with it as well, to be honest. because Dave Fallows will have intimate knowledge of what it's like to have Jordan Henderson around your squad. More so than even Xabi Alonso does. You know what I mean? Because Dave Fallows was like in his pomp at Liverpool whilst Jordan Henderson was in his prime as a player. So yeah, I think it's all training off field stuff, man. I genuinely don't expect Jordan Henderson to be the guy that reinvigorates our midfield. Do you know what I mean? Shows Enzo Fernandez what's what. No, I don't see that happening.
He'll send him flying, man.
Even profile wise, like Jordan Henderson, he doesn't add to the pro. You know, he isn't energetic. He's not. If you look at the players that we've been linked with, like Adam Wharton and Alex Scott, like Jordan Henderson is a reasonably good passer, but not exactly an unbelievable deep line distributor. And Alex Scott is like an engine, like a machine. Like he's athletic and he can go and go. And Jordan Henderson can't celebrate without breaking his arm. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's you know, when the Granit Xhaka move was being talked about, it was very much Alonso wanted a manager on the pitch. That was like specifically the phrase that was used, wasn't it? Like, you know, Alonso sees Granit Xhaka as that extra manager on the pitch. So I thought Granit Xhaka would play. I don't think Jordan Henderson will play much. He'll get a couple, you know, 5 to 10 games or something throughout the season. But I it feels like he's the third choice goalkeeper profile of player, but for the midfield, I think.
Yeah, I get that. Kai?
No, not for me. Not
convinced.
Like, no. Like, I want experience, and I get it. And there's not many players, obviously, aged. He's won it, Champions League, Premier League. He's got the mould of experience, and I understand that. But it's like we're saying there, we don't see him playing much, or if playing at all. You remember, currently, Enzo Fernandez hasn't gone anywhere. So we've got Enzo, Dario Sugo, Romeo Lavia, Caicedo, and Barco. 2 of them are playing at a time. The other 3 are going to be vying for. So you add Jordan Henderson in the mix. Now, obviously, someone's going to be going, but still 1 or 2 maybe. There's still a lot of players that are going to be vying for positions that would probably deserve more minutes than you would say Henderson, who's at the back end of his career. If we're just bringing him in for his off-the-field experience, just fucking bring him in as a coach then. What's the point? What's the point of having a player that's not going to play? You might as well just have brought him in as a coach aspect. And then if I look at the bench, do I feel comfortable having Jordan Henderson on the bench that I know is probably not going to come on and affect a game and take up a spot of a player that could be on the bench that could affect the game? I'd rather have that option. I understand from the experience side of things, right? I thought Granit Xhaka would have been superb because I know he's still got it in him to play a few more seasons. 2, 3, you might even be able to push 4. Jordan Henderson looks like he's got no legs left. He, like Matt said, he can't celebrate without, you know, breaking a bone. I don't see what, apart from the off the field, what we're going to get out of him, nor do I think he deserves to play in front of the other players on the pitch. And if we are just bringing him, and I don't want us to bring him in as a coach, but if we are just bringing him in for his off the field experience, then I don't agree with that. I mean, we've got enough of them. We've got Willie Esser in the background and things like doing. I just don't. I'd rather us go in for someone else's experience that at least I know is going to play.
Look.
I don't see the point. I don't see the point. Sorry, Matt. Just 1 second. These 2 players, I don't see the point in Henderson. I can see the reasoning behind Welbeck, but I can't see anything that Henderson brings in apart from that coaching experience. You know, the elder statement. That, you know, attribute, which could be needed, but is it really enough for him to take that spot, like you said, Kai? And I don't see the pros outweighing the cons. I think, you know, bringing in someone like Granit Xhaka that was on the cards does make sense. But yeah, Matt, sorry for interrupting you. I just, you know, I'm just trying to figure it out in my head. You know, Danny Welbeck, yes. Henderson, I just can't see it.
Jordan Henderson played 34 games last season, 32 of which were in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So he's still, and we're thinking about it like, oh yeah, he's he can play like 5-10 games or whatever. Like I literally said that, but it's like he was a big player for Brentford, and Brentford finished higher than us. This is the other thing to remember as well, isn't it? Brentford had a phenomenal season last season, and he was a big part of that. So this isn't me being like, I'm not really shipping it. The main thing for me is the very fact that we've been linked with him, and that's obviously not a Blueco-led thing. Yeah. Does this not just tell you how much Xabi Alonso thinks we are desperate for this kind of personality?
100%. I'm not sitting here and going, I am annoyed that we're being linked with players of this age, this experience. Yeah. Not at all. Danny Welbeck, I think, is the right type of player to go with. Granit Xhaka, the right type of player. But they both offer something.
I think we'll still get.
I just don't see.
Sorry? We're still gonna get we got knocked back 64 mil for Alex Scott.
Oh yeah, I expect us. I think the likes of Scott or the Wharton is going to be based on Enzo Fernandez. We're going to need to sell an important player to bring something like that in, but it's about the.
It's not going to be about that. They've said that they're going to get the midfielder regardless.
In anyway, yeah. But then you add in another midfielder in to the crop, which. I just, like I said, Danny Welbeck and, Granit, I can see because they offer something. Same as Stones, he can still offer something. I just don't feel Henderson offers anything on the pitch. Rather, it's all off the pitch stuff. And if that's the case, I'd rather look even someone that's the same age but can still offer something that I would feel would offer something.
If we still go in for this other midfielder, who's probably going to be a first-team guy, what's the issue with having a Jordan Henderson around? If it's not taking up loads of wages, we will. The more we bring in, the more we're going to have to get out. Xabi Alonso was talking today about liking to work with a slim squad. So Esugo or Lavia could well be on the block, potentially. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. So what is the problem? Like, if Jordan Henderson comes in and doesn't play, why is that an issue? If what he brings improves the maturity of the team. It's not going to be like crazy money. We're not going to be talking about spending like 30 mil on Jordan.
It's going to be a free transfer. The wages won't be high.
Exactly.
I just don't, like I said, the other players that we are going for in terms of that age, that experience, you could still see would still be coming onto the pitch to provide something. The problem I have with Jordan Henderson is I don't see him coming on the pitch, playing enough games or providing anything. And I don't. Again, if you're going to bring in a player that is just to sit behind this, I get it for a one-off tournament for the World Cup. I understand that it's a one-off thing. You're bringing that experience because he's done it in the tournament. But we're talking about potentially multiple seasons because he may sign a one-year deal. It might be two.
Doesn't play. If he plays loads and is awful, then I'm like, I get it. Do you know what I mean?
Big problem,
If we end up giving Jordan Henderson 20 to 25 games and he ends up costing us loads, then okay, cool. Like, I see what the problem is with that, but I don't really see that being the thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Again, like, so if you bring him in to be that voice in a dressing room behind the side, right? He's going to need to be on the bench, right? He would have to be, because what would be the point of leaving him out of the game situations, because that's where he can affect in terms of the mentality of the players. Maybe if we're getting stuck at it, we're sitting too deep and we're struggling to get out in the game, you have him on the bench in the dressing room to rile up the players, but then he takes a bench player's spot, which I'm not happy with, because I want players that are going to come on and affect the game. How many times we're looking at last season where we're looking at our bench and we're going, we've got nothing to come on. So I don't feel comfortable with Henderson being one of those players, and again, if you're bringing him in for the mentality side of things and off the pitch, he's going to have to be involved in the bench. Otherwise, I don't see
nothing on the bench though. So surely
last season, I'll talk about last season. I mean. This season,
that's what I mean. We're not buying bench players. If we're going to buy another midfielder, we're going to buy.
Again, but he's going to take up a spot on the bench, is he not? Or is he not going to be on the bench? He's just going to be in the dressing room. That's what I'm saying. Then he might as well just be a coach.
I think at the moment your other options are Dario Esugo, who spent the majority of last season injured, and Romeo Lavia, who's never finished 90 minutes for Chelsea. And Jordan Henderson played 34 games, 32 in the Premier League last season. You know what I mean? It's like Jordan Henderson played an infinite amount more football in the last season than either of our current midfield options. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I say, man, you know,
But
I
we're also
just
talking about Henderson being like the only experienced option at that age to go for. Where it's not the case. We've just let one walk out the door to Inter Milan.
well, yeah, I don't disagree with
But
that.
but do you see what I'm saying? There are other options.
It's not as simple as let, is it? It's if John Stones wanted to go to Inter Milan, like that Inter Milan news appeared today. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's been a battle and it's been Chelsea Inter Milan.
Yeah,
It's like, no, we've been talking to John about John Stones for a week. We both know that. We've both been making videos about it. The Inter Milan news appeared today. John Stones gets the option. Do you want to go and chill in Italy, or do you want to be part of this Chelsea project? And it's like, right, I'm gonna go and chill in Italy, and he'll probably play more at Inter Milan because they will probably be getting him to be a first team player, where we clearly weren't. So it's not
Again,
as simple.
It's one example of a player. It's one example of a player. I'm not saying, again, John Stones is not the only experienced player that we could go for. That's what I'm saying. There are better options, or there could be better options than just bringing in a player just to sit in the dressing room. In my opinion, if we're going to bring in a player that's going to be experienced, how does he affect on the field if he's not potentially going to be on the field? If the idea, again, I know what you're saying, he may play 5 to 10 games, maybe even more, being how much he's paid for Brentford. But if the consensus is he's just coming in, again, we won't know till further talks if it does progress any further. If the consensus is that he's just coming in to just be in the dressing room, I can't really get behind that.
I think the thing is, Xabi Alonso has made it very clear from the Granit Xhaka moment that he is looking for a connection between the coaching staff and the first team.
Yeah.
What he is looking for that. Granit Xhaka wasn't going to start all of these games and stuff. So Granit Xhaka only played 2 more games in the entirety of last season than Jordan Henderson did. Do you know what I mean? And Jordan Henderson, as I said, like, look, this is me playing devil's advocate. This is not me like, oh, I love Jordan Henderson. I think he's brilliant. But when news like this appears, you've got to dissect the actual information.
Yeah.
The actual information is that he played almost all of Brentford's Premier League games last season. They finished higher than we did. So look, he's not Granit Xhaka, and Granit Xhaka was the first choice. We were turned down for it. He's not John Stones. John Stones was the second choice. John Stones has opted to go to Inter Milan. Fair enough. How you say there's loads of these options, but like, how many more are there? Like, we're on the third choice for that option already when it comes down to it. And at the end of the day, we could probably do worse than someone who's won the Premier League and the Champions League as well, and also, you know, played a big part in Brentford last season. I get what you're saying. I think the bench thing, I think it's a bit of a misnomer, to be honest, mate, because the majority of last season, we had 4 centre-backs on the bench like every single game because our bench depth was so bad. There is space for a Jordan Henderson and another midfielder on the bench. Like, that just is.
Great conversation, great discussion. Listen, end of the day, we'll have to see if it does happen, and it might happen. However, I want to address this one. So we just watched a clip from Fabrizio Romano talking about potential outgoings on the back of Chelsea potentially signing Danny Welbeck. And the emphasis was on Omega and Liam Delap. We've got Ben Jacobs specifically saying that Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson and Mark Gui are understood to be considered for an exit, while Omega is not. So we are getting a lot of reports, specifically this transfer window, that seem to be quite contradictory from various different journalists. Are we seeing a shift in the way news has been reported by the Tier 1 journalists? Is there a little bit of a rift between them? And could that cause misinformation being driven out? Because, I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of accuracy we have been getting recently. What's your thoughts on this? And I want to hear what you guys think.
Journos being journos, though. Let's be real. This is what they do, and they're very intricate with their wording. Like one journalist is reporting the Lap Mark Gu for sale, Nicholas Jackson for sale, Omega loan. Other journalists is going, oh, Omega's not available on a permanent. Okay, but you didn't say he's not available on a loan. So it's just wording. They're all trying to say the same thing, just in a different way to go, oh, hey, I got the leg up on you this time. I do find it strange that Omega would be on the list, being that he's just got here. But like Matt said, Alonso's had him for a few weeks. Maybe he just thinks he's rubbish and he doesn't want to put up with it for the season. Who knows? But it's it's not a good look for any of our strikers, really. The fact that they're all on there. So,
well, this is the thing as well. Like, think about every single person that's been calling out Blueco and the sporting directors and the terrible sign-ins and the absolute crazy levels of hyperbole and vitriol that has been directed towards Chelsea's sign-ins. Right. What we're seeing now is Xabi Alonso coming in and vindicating all of that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yes, these guys are bad. And now, instead of, oh, but maybe we could, right, it's like, right, cool, get rid of him. It's fresh start. Like, this is a good thing, man. I know it seems bizarre, but it's actually a good thing. Emmanuel Omega was bought at the beginning of last season and got injured after like 11 games, 7 goals. Started the season really, really well, but barely played for the rest of the season. And if Xabi Alonso's had him for a few weeks and he's scoring goals in pre-season, and even with that, he's still like, no, I'm good. Like, yeah, good. Do you know what I mean? Because Blueco, if it were, you remember all the conversation we have about Blueco telling the managers who they can and can't play, and they've got all this control. What this is exactly proof that is not happening anymore. So even though it's crazy and it's like, oh, we just, and what all we're doing is we're highlighting past bad decisions and showing that they are willing to rectify those, and this is just more to say that they are backing the manager. They are absolutely backing the manager. Leander Lat's been here for a season. Garnacho was only here for a season. Omega's not even played a professional game yet, and all of them are looking to go one way or another. Do you know what I mean? Vis-a-vis the unusual nature of the reporting, I think that is by design as well. Excuse me. I think this whole transfer window has felt so different to last time because the majority of the news that's been coming out has not been coming out from the Chelsea side. It's getting leaked from the other clubs when we're engaging in them. Like the Morgan Rogers thing came out of nowhere. The Marco Palestra thing came absolutely out of nowhere. The Jordan Henderson thing has come out of nowhere. The Granit Xhaka thing came out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? And all of these things that we're hearing, it's not coming from us this time. And normally, oh, mate, Xavi Simons ate a Snickers for breakfast this morning and had 2 sugars in his coffee. Like last summer, it was crazy, man. Like, and that was obviously a lot of that was coming out from our side. But I think it's more difficult for the journos this season because Chelsea are playing their cards a lot closer to their chest, which is frustrating as a content creator, and I'm sure it's frustrating if you're a journalist. But ultimately, it's seeing us land the targets for the most part that we're looking to land, right?
I prefer it done this way.
Do you know what? Yeah, exactly. This for me is the way that it used to be under Roman Abramovich. Information would only go out when things were done, or when things were about to get done, to lessen the impact of interference from other clubs, other agents. It seems like that is something that we are changing. We're going back to that system, which I prefer. But this is another thing. You kind of alluded to it there, Matt, as well. We're seeing a change in many different aspects. We have a manager today. We don't have a head coach. We have a manager, and with that comes different responsibilities, different accountabilities. And it looks like they are actually giving him those responsibilities and accountabilities to do what he deems to be right. Some of these players, Omega, one of them, is a player that Chelsea had decided to bring in this season before we even had Alonso being decided to become the manager. Alonso had to look at him. Maybe he didn't fancy the way this guy plays, the way he passes the ball, the way he controls the ball. Yes, he scored a couple of goals, but it isn't just about the goals that he scored. It's about the way he plays, the way he interacts with other players. Attitude is something that I am also concerned about when it comes to Omega, because I have seen a little bit more of a, I'm not going to say childish, but a little bit more reckless attitude from him in certain aspects. And maybe this is something that Alonso is clearly trying to address. Hence, getting these older gentlemen through the door to give that more. I'm not going to say pensioners anymore. Older gentlemen through the door to give that stability in the dressing room and potentially on the pitch. So these changes we were asking for these changes. You guys were on my streams, all of last season, and we were discussing, the attitude, the interference, the lack of structure, the lack of responsibility, accountability, and all of this seems to have changed. So in a way, we are happy to see this happen, but at the same time, we are not happy that they are not getting the players we want them to get. But again, who makes that decision? Who knows best?
It's like, mate, the change is there, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, the change is happening. It's what we've been screaming for the last 4 years. Trust. If you don't trust Bluco, trust Xabi Alonso, because the man's literally won an 100% and got a 75% win rate at Real Madrid before getting sacked for politics reasons, essentially.
Before I let Kai come in on this, Courtney, big up to you, my brother. Welcome. And guys, smash the like button. It is absolutely free. Yeah, it's a free transfer. Yeah, there's no clauses. There's no, a hidden cost. It's a free click of a button. Please smash that like button. You guys have been doing a really good job over the past couple of streams. Please continue to do so by smashing the like button on the stream. And big up to you, Courtney. Big up to you. Kai.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you guys are saying. It's clearly a shift. I mean, even before the Welbeck, Henderson, and things like that, the facts we've brought in, a player like Maxims Lacroix, probably top 5 centre back of the season, but first player from 26 and up that we've signed since 2022, when we were signing the likes of Sterlings and Aubameyangs and things like that, which is nuts to think about. That is like prime territory as a footballer, but we brought in. So already you can see there's a turning point, and most of the targets, I'll say 99.9% of the targets we've been linked to that we are going after in this summer window, I can fully get behind. Makes sense. I'm glad we're going in this direction. I love the fact that everything is under the radar, even if it means we struggle to talk about it now because we don't know what's going on. It also makes it difficult for other clubs to interfere. Eventually it's going to come out. We saw, the Maxims Lacroix eventually came out, and then other clubs were starting to sniff around. But when you're going for those top targets, I'd be very surprised if other clubs aren't interested anyway. But I like the fact that we're not messing about. We're just dropping it and getting things done and getting players that definitely come in and strengthen the side.
What do you think of this comment from Mazakai?
Last week we're stealing Arsenal targets, and now it's different scraps. I don't know, Brentford or Brighton. Well, again, the only one I would say out of that is the Jordan Henderson. I think the Rayo one, I think if they're the money that they're asking for, I think is ridiculous for the player, and I wouldn't pay it. So, and the fact that we're even still entertaining the deal in terms of trying to get it done, hoping that they drop the price, where we probably could go on and get a similar player, similar caliber for cheaper somewhere else, and we haven't. Obviously, if Xabi Alonso seriously wants him, fair enough, but not for 40+ million. I'm sorry, that's just too much for that kind of player. Again, he spent most of his time in the second division in Spain. So, but it is what it is. Sunderland Xhaka thing is what it is. Was definitely the start of the turning point. The fact that we were even interested in him in the first place was the start of it. The Danny Welbeck thing, 100%, it makes sense in terms of adding that experience. João Pedro is definitely going to be your starting number 9. You need someone that you can rely on, that can come on and maybe nick you a goal here and there, that can probably do 10 to 15 games a season and cover João Pedro when he needs a bit of rest. Happy with that, considering what we've got else on the bench in terms of a striker position. It is shocking. It is. There's no two ways about it. Bar, like I said, Nicholas Jackson, but he's pretty much going to be out the door, I think. Okay. The Henderson one, I just can't. I can't see it. There are other options. So, like I said, 99.9% of the players that we're going in, I think that it's the right players. It's what we need. It's what Xabi Alonso needs, and we're potentially going into the season. And what we all asked at the start is, he's coming in to be the manager. You make sure you back him. You give him the tools that he needs in order to achieve what we want him or what he wants to achieve next season. Then there's no excuse. We can't go Blueco didn't give him what he wanted or give him the tools. If he's gone into the season, he's got himself a centre back, maybe even another one in there. If he's got himself another big midfielder, he's gotten Morgan Rogers, potentially something in the striker department, probably not. But if Danny Welbeck comes in, great. Then we've aided that. We've given him all the tools for one game a week to put us back up there, then fair enough. You know, then they've done what we've asked for. And you know, they're not far away from being there, to be honest. They're not. They're a couple of signings more from putting this squad into a decent position.
We wanted
the season.
We wanted the spine, and it looks like we are about to get one. I want to just tell you guys in the chat, we are waiting for news and developments. This is a transfer stream, transfer news update stream. So we are going to be on the air for a little while longer, looking at all the latest developments. In the meantime, if you want to comment a question to myself, Matt, or Kai, or to all of us, do it in the chat. We are going to be addressing questions from the chat moving forward. So put the person you want to address the question to, and crack on with it. We'll try to get through as many questions as possible. Matt, I'd like you to address this question. Do you guys think these experienced players put in question Reece James's leadership as the captain?
No. And I think we've been here before with Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva was not a captain and was not a vice captain, but was a big leadership character and figure in the squad. I think it reinforces James can learn from these guys about how to, like, this is the thing, like Reece James didn't have a John Terry when he came into the squad. Do you know what I mean? To show him really like the ropes and how it's done and stuff. And he wasn't the captain when Thiago Silva was here either, was he? I can't remember who was captain actually at the time.
No, he was captain.
Was he the captain?
Yeah, he was captain.
I think Reece James has grown into a much better captain figure already. He was so timid a couple of years ago, man, and you can see it. Like, even at the World Cup, like, obviously ended up getting injured, but he was asked a question, like, and he was like, "Look, whatever, man. I'm bored of having this conversation now. I can play. Like, I played all last season or whatever." It seems that timid nature has kind of gone. He definitely is more vocal, and I think it's important to keep Reece James as the captain, but to add figures around him to support him. Right, and ones like Jordan Henderson, ones like Danny Welbeck. For me, Levi Colwill needs to be made the vice captain. Enzo Fernandez, if he stays, absolutely 100% cannot be the vice captain anymore. Like, that was
actually going to be my question. You literally read my mind. I was going to ask you and Kai, should the vice captain's position be taken away from Enzo Fernandez next season, regardless?
100%.
Yes. Yes.
100%.
He is a mentality monster in terms of how he can galvanize people, how he galvanizes himself. You can see he's got that South American, the blood in him. Of course, that kind of player. He doesn't have, for me, the right temperament as a leader. He is so hot and cold at times. I also think he's very, like, in himself, like, selfish at times, and you can see that by the absolute idiotic challenge he made at the World Cup, being that there's it's neck and neck so close, and you go and get yourself a red card that has basically ruined their chances. So he has got that in him, and then you just think about what has gone on this summer. You can't. You just physically can't do it, and there are better leaders in the squad. I think Levi Colwill was unfortunate to pick up the injury, because I think he would have been in a shout if not got the armband come the end of the season, because I think I made a video just before the season started, before he got injured, about the Club World Cup and the new sort of reign of Chelsea leaders, and he was up there of being one of my number one picks. I agree with Matt on Reece James. He's definitely grown into the role. The thing with Reece James and another thing with Levi Colwill, they know Chelsea in and out, right? They're youth academy players through and through, all the way up. So they know what it means to be Chelsea. and it is important to bring that through. And the other players that are coming in that are going to be the experienced head will just add to that. They don't need to take over. It's at the end of the day, of course, it's important to wear the captain's armband, but it's just an armband at the end of the day. You don't need an armband to be a leader. And, you know, some of the signings in, like Danny Welbeck, straight away, he will bring in certain types of leadership qualities, especially in the front line, that even the likes of a João Pedro can learn off, because João Pedro in himself is still young. So it is important to bring these kind of players in. Same with Maxence Lacroix. You know, he's come on for Palace, been an integral part of their defensive unit. Will come in, and if Levi Colwill does get that vice captaincy armband, he will aid that. He will, you know, bring that further on and just aid Levi Colwill in, you know, bringing that leadership group through and creating that spine through the team, which we so desperately need.
If you think about the best Chelsea teams ever, there was like 7 leaders on the pitch at any time. Guys that captained their countries, even if they weren't leaders, captains in the squad and stuff. Like, it's about having people that will hold each other accountable genuinely. And that's something that we haven't had, because the squad's been full of kids for the last few years. And the idea was great. Do you know what I mean? The idea was fun. Yeah, okay, let's go get loads of potential like it's Football Manager or FIFA or something. But the truth of the fact is, talent and technique is half of football, and personality is the other half. And we're missing those personalities, man, and we have been for a while. So this is why, like, I can't get angry at the Jordan Henderson thing. It's like, if Jordan Henderson plays 4 games for Chelsea, but he supports Reece James and Levi Colwill and is a captain figure and leads by example and ups the standard of training, which ultimately makes all of our first team better. Like, yeah, cool. If that's what Xabi Alonso thinks we need, man, like, I'm here for it. I think leadership is something that we have just been so missing. Like I say, you know, we had John Terry and Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba and Anelka. Do you know what I mean? All of these guys everywhere on the pitch that will hold each other accountable when things are going wrong and pick each other up and make each other push. We gave up so many late goals. Over the last 2-3 seasons, it's been such a problem not being able to see games out. Part of that is a leadership thing. Do you know what I mean? The squad losing their heads. You know, you think about all the silly set-piece goals that we've conceded as well, and largely it's because there's not a leader on the pitch that can see that there's chaos in the box even before the long throw or the corners come in, and someone needs to put everyone in their position and get everyone focused. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Reece James is a risk at all. I think that he is the Chelsea captain. I think Enzo Fernandez, stay or go. Well, obviously, if he stays, absolutely not vice captain anymore. And I think bring more leaders into the squad, man. Because, look, this is something that Xabi Alonso said from the beginning as well. Or it was something that was come out from the journalist. He said that he wanted to bring in and create mentality monsters. So if he's identified Henderson and Welbeck as those guys, then I'm here for it.
100%. The Chelsea boy, 1234, one of the long-time subscribers of the Blue Lounge. He was a subscriber when the channel was called Baggy TV back in the day. So big up to you and welcome. He's asking, do you reckon Jackson goes? What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, I feel like out of all the strikers that are potentially being linked to go, he's probably nailed on. I can see him going to Villa. I think it will be like a back end of the transfer window kind of thing, but I can see it happening.
Because of the rule that they've put in this season now, where there has to be 45 days in between transfers, otherwise they're from the same club, otherwise they're counted as swap deals, and you only get to register the net profit on your books, which is why we did the creative Garnacho loan. So if Jackson goes to Villa, it will be at the end of the transfer window.
Right at the end, yeah. So yeah, I can see him leaving, to be honest.
Do you reckon it's already penciled in? It's already agreed between the two clubs, and they're just keeping it on the down low?
I do think there's a small chance that if Jackson comes back into pre-season and Xabi Alonso loves him and he smashes it, and also if there's like injuries and, do you know what I mean? It's like, I do think there are some permutations where, okay, maybe we hang on to Jackson. But I think if everything goes as it is right now, 65 mil for Jackson, if you add on the 13 mil we got from Bayern Munich last season, 78 million pounds for Jackson in total in profit.
Yeah, will be a bit more in it because I don't think we paid any of his wages while he was at Bayern either, would it?
That's true.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So it's bank, man. It's bank.
Yeah.
And you got to think like, if we're not going to sell Gusto and Enzo Fernandez, then we will need to make another big sale. This might be the reason why they feel confident in going in for another midfielder before we sell Enzo Fernandez, because it's nailed on that Jackson's going to go or whatever.
And Enzo Fernandez is going to go. Do you guys think someone's going to pay that asking price?
I really want them to, but it's so much money, man. And do you know what? If we went for that red card, I think he'd be gone already.
Yeah, because he was having a blinder. He was having a
yeah.
blinder. Yeah.
Atletico
I just don't
Madrid,
see who. Yeah,
the others I can think of.
I mean, if Real Madrid are going to go sign Diamonde, I can't see them shelling out.
They're getting Rodri as well,
over
isn't they?
100. Yeah, I just can't see him shelling out 100+ million on Enzo Fernandez as well in the same window.
What I wanted to happen, right? Imagine this. Yeah, picture this. We hijack Bruno G from Arsenal, and Arsenal buy Enzo Fernandez for 120 mil.
Literally caught this question. It says, "Do you guys think that we are genuinely looking at Bruno Gomes?" So, is that in the pipeline? What do you guys think?
I would like to think it is. I think, we talk about bringing in experienced players and something in the midfield. He would be sort of my number one pick out of the Premier League, like hands down.
Yeah.
What are Newcastle demanding? Like 90 something,
85, I think.
85 to 90 mil,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Which I get he's 29, but I don't think is
It's 28.
or 28. Even that I think is what it probably should be, considering the influence he has. He is a captain at Newcastle, international, Brazilian international. I think he's for me been probably one of the best midfielders in the league for many a seasons. I'd love him at Chelsea. I absolutely love him. Do I think we could hijack from Arsenal? 100%. Do I think we're going to? I feel like we're set on Alex Scott or a Wharton, to be honest. I think if we're going to spend big money, I think it's going to be for them, not for Bruno G, unfortunately.
Who would you rather have? Scott or G?
Three?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go on.
Oh, Bruno.
I was
G,
going to say
100%.
Scott. I was going to say Scott or Bruno G. Bruno G. Yeah.
For me. Out of those three,
Wharton.
One. Okay.
Bruno G.
I think the problem with Bruno G, though, I think it's possible, but I think if we get Jordan Henderson, I think that definitely means that we don't get Bruno G. Because Bruno G, you either get a Bruno G or you get a Henderson and an Alex Scott / Adam Wharton. But you don't get a Bruno G and an Adam Wharton or an Alex Scott, do you? Because Bruno's going to want to play too much. And you bring Bruno in to go straight into your first team, don't you? That's just what you do.
Could this happen? What do you guys think? If Rodri leaves, Enzo will go there.
I think the biggest thing is because Maresca's there. I think that and Man City. I don't know how, but they always have the money. But it's probably because they just win trophies every year. But they, I think it is definitely a big possibility. But the same with Gusto. I don't think it's completely dead with Gusto. I still think that there is the potential because Maresca is the manager. And out of all the players in the squad, Enzo Fernandez, Marc Cucurella were the most hurt by the Maresca thing from the sounds of it. Especially Enzo Fernandez was the most hurt for it. So I can definitely see it being reunited, but Rodri would have to leave for that to happen.
Do you think, I've got this feeling that Man City are going to try and do like a double deal for Gusto and Fernandez, but it would be, from what we've asked for, it'd be 195 mil. But do you think we'd take like 160 for both of them if we could sell them at the same time?
You know what? Probably because you can say you're selling Enzo Fernandez for 110 and Gusto for 50. Like, I think between 40 and 50 mil for Gusto is probably reasonable. Still young, but recent performance over not just this season, not just the World Cup, but like the last few seasons, his price has definitely deteriorated. And 110 for Enzo Fernandez, you know, we're pretty much making back what we got from him. But again, we've had him for quite a few seasons, so we'll probably be looking to be up there. So yeah. I think 160, I'd take it, and I think Chelsea would probably be reluctant. But if they want to go shell out 100 million potentially on an Alex Scott or an Adam Wharton, or hopefully a Bruno G, then yeah, I think they would take it just to facilitate those moves, or make it a little bit easier on the books at least.
Feels like Gusto's more likely to go, just because of the price and the versatility. Like he loves, but I guess the thing is, Malo Gusto allows for Enzo Fernandez to play the way that he's best. Do you know what I mean? And it's basically
by inverting into midfield allows him to push forward and make those box running. Yeah.
I know Nico
it's like a package deal.
That. Yeah, but exactly, that's my thing, isn't it? It's like they actually have both played their best football, arguably. Oh no, arguably Gusto's best season was under Poch when it has an actual right back, but he's not that anymore. Yeah. He's some weird new position hybrid. You know, they both are actually. They're both weird. They both start in one place and end up somewhere else. It's weird, isn't it? I never really thought of it like that.
I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons, not just the fact that he's basically been man-marked, but with the Cole Palmer situation and why his performances have gotten progressively worse as the seasons go on, obviously bar the injury, is having an overlapping fullback draws players out of the middle, which creates space in the half spaces for Cole Palmer. We haven't been playing with overlapping fullbacks. We've been playing with inverted fullbacks that take up space in the middle, which basically shuts down the half spaces, so is less space to operate. So the fact that we brought in someone like Palestra, who's not known for being an inverted fullback, that's being that wing back that's getting up and down the pitch, it could unlock the likes of Cole Palmer. And then you add in Morgan Rogers, who again operates in that half space to just drag the players away. It could work really well, but then you would say that's Gusto's system, right? A wing back, overlapping fullback. It's where he operates best. So would we be sort of not allowing him to potentially be in his best system and let him go to City? Again, I would be fine to let him go, but it's one
I feel like Maresca is rewired Gusto a little bit, because Liam Rosenior tried to play Gusto as a wide right player, and he wasn't very good at it. So we remember him being really good at it from Pochettino, but I just feel like it must be really difficult. Gusto's still quite young, and he came in and had 18 months of Enzo Maresca being like, I need you to play everywhere, all of the time. And that just feels like, to me, the player that he is now. I'm not saying that he couldn't, but it's better to have players that, Marco Palestra, that's what he does right now. So that's why he's a really good option there. I also think, I'm not going to lie to you, I think Jamie Gittins gets played there as well, in a very sort of fashion.
I want to address another question from the chat, and this is a topic that we did hear something about recently. Xabi Alonso is looking to evaluate the goalkeeping position. Potentially something could happen towards the back end of the transfer window after seeing Robert Sanchez in pre-season. There's been talk about Diego Costa. What do you guys think in regards to the goalkeeping situation? Do you think we are likely to see some movement there as well, or is Robert Sanchez's position safe? What's your thoughts on this one, lads?
I think Sanchez's position is safe regardless. I think the question is, does Xabi Alonso like Mike Penders? We won't see him until the Asia leg of the tour, maybe a little bit later than that. Because what the PR has been, Mike Penders v Rob Sanchez, that's the goalkeeping situation for this season. But if Penders comes in, Penders can't be a backup. He can't be. If Penders isn't ready now, we have to get him out and get him more time and experience, because otherwise he'll turn into Philip Jorgensen.
So you think it's Penders Sanchez rather than someone external coming in?
I think if Penders comes in and Xabi Alonso likes him, it's Penders Sanchez. I think.
Okay.
For sure. I think if Penders comes in and doesn't immediately make it look like he can actually do this battle, it's the best for him. It's the best for the squad. It's the best for everyone if he gets loaned out somewhere again for another season. He's 20 years old, man. He's 20. Do you know what I mean? He's so young, and it's such a massive thing to ask. Diogo Costa is a wicked goalkeeper, 26 years old, so it's not exactly a stopgap. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised to see us maybe revisit Mike Maignan for that in that case if we're looking for like a more temporary kind of thing. Diogo Costa, you buy. You for the next 5 years, and you're paying big wages, and he becomes your first team guy, and then you're not really thinking about Penders anymore. Do you know what I mean?
I'm actually surprised. He said 26, 27, his age. I actually thought he was old. Yeah, I thought he was older. Yeah, he has been around for ages.
Long time.
26, man. 26. I remember I thought the exact same thing, and someone called me out in one of my videos because I was like, oh, I think he's like 30, and they were like, bro, he's 26. I was like, what? That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like Donnarumma, isn't it? Again, you would think he's 40, mate. How long he's been around for.
Yeah.
But Donnarumma peaked really early. I think he was 18 when he started to be the first choice. Donnarumma's yeah.
AC Milan, 16 years old, crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, go on.
I just think the goalkeeping situation has been destined to not be settled until the end of the transfer window because of the very nature of it. Robert Sanchez is not good enough. And look at how savage Xabi Alonso has been with the likes of Garnacho, Liam Delap, Emmanuel Omega. Like, we're seeing this already. He's not like, oh, I'll give this guy a chance. Do you know what I mean? Just like, no, mate, you're not good enough. On your bike, see you later. That is what is happening. We're literally seeing that right now. Garnacho wasn't even on pre-season tour. Disasi, Benoit Badiashile, like there's a big list of like 12 players, I think, who were all in and around the first team last season or out on loan that haven't gone on the pre-season tour. We need Rob Sanchez at the moment because we literally don't have anyone else. We know Philip Jorgensen wants to go. Otherwise, if we had other goalkeeping options, he probably wouldn't be on the tour either. But yeah, no, Rob Sanchez is going to go, isn't he? So for me, I wouldn't be unhappy to have him as our second goalkeeper next season, Rob Sanchez, personally. But that's only if Mike Penders comes in and is good enough. And if Mike Penders isn't good enough, then surely the best thing to do is to loan him out somewhere. Premier League team, Coventry, Ipswich, maybe get him a promoted team for a season or something like that. And then look at Diogo Costa, Mike Maignan, Robin Roofs, and figure out what you do from there.
Kai, agree?
Yeah. I know there's obviously with Sanchez, we talk about the Club World Cup, and he had a great Club World Cup, and then he started the season pretty well, and then it just sort of reverted back, albeit with the change of style tactically made him a bit more vulnerable. And then you have the argument, well, if he had better centre-backs in front of him, would he be perceived to be even better? The problem being, again, we've got another manager in. Is not heavily reliant on playing the ball out from the back, but it's possession-based football. He wants to keep hold of the ball. We know we've had enough seasons with Sanchez that if you ask him to play with the ball at his feet, he cannot do it. He just cannot do it. He makes the wrong decisions. It doesn't have to be every single decision he gets wrong, but he makes very bad decisions that lead to goals, big problems. And I think personally it's probably time to cut our losses on him and move on. I can't see him getting any better than he is now. Not with us. He needs to go to a team where he's literally just there to stop shots, because as a shot stopper, he's brilliant. And I get it, goalkeepers should be judged on how they stop the ball, but the game has evolved, and that's not what they're asked. They're basically, an additional outfield player, an additional centre back at times, playing with, without the feet, and we see pretty much every team do it now. I just think I don't think we should be going in to another season with Rob Sanchez number one. Is Penders ready? I'm not 100% convinced that he is. Without seeing him, again, it's tough to judge. I also don't think it's fair to give it to a 20-year-old and ask him to just do it, because it's different when you're an outfield player and you're an attacking player. We speak about Esteval, for instance, 18-year-old kid, and we were talking at times, especially myself, at relying on him to be that game changer and to create these moments. It's different with an attacking player, because generally if you make a mistake, you've got 8 or 9 players behind you that can potentially cover you for that mistake. As a goalkeeper, it's imperative that all your decisions are key, because one wrong decision from you is it can lead to a goal straight away, and it would knock your confidence down a hell of a lot faster as a goalkeeper. But you know, you never know with Penders. I've heard him in press conferences. He speaks really well. He's got the air of confidence in him. I didn't watch him enough at Strasbourg to have a full, you know, idea of what to expect from him. So the pre-season would give me a bit more of an idea. But if there is that little bit of doubt that he's not ready, then don't take the chance. Give him another season on loan, like Matt was saying, and either bring in a Mignon. You know, I do think that ship might have sailed by now. But if we are looking at a Diogo Costa, I wouldn't be opposed to that. You know, keepers are one of those positions that last forever. You know, they can go on to like their 40s.
Yeah. I want to speculate a little bit. Let's say Welbeck and Henderson are signed. Let's just say they're signed. What else do you think is going to happen in regards to incomings in this transfer window, if any?
So
and
expecting
who?
a big midfielder. That's what they've said. You can't tell me Henderson is the big midfielder.
So who? Bruno? Do you think that's the one? Alex Scott? Do you think that's the one? Who do you think?
Scott.
Not who you want. Who do you think is actually going to come in?
Scott or Wharton.
Yeah.
Not Bruno, because
No.
Arsenal are dragging their feet.
I think if we get Henderson, I don't think you could then get Bruno. I don't know. Maybe.
You could, but then would you really need a Henderson with a Bruno? Because he brings you
Kind of my point.
the experience. So it would be nuts if we did, and I'd probably take it a bit more on the chin if we brought in Henderson, but then brought on
The thing
Bruno
is, though,
alongside it.
the only reason Arsenal won't get him is because they don't want to pay the money. And then it's like, how much then do Newcastle end up taking this for? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's all fine and good being like, we'll pay more than Arsenal, but what's the top level you'd pay for Bruno G?
Could we do? I think what they were asking for.
Give him Liam Delap.
I was just going to say, I could see a Liam Delap, but a cheeky Liam Delap, but at least get you 30 million off the price tag. Come on. There's still 30 million playing in there for Newcastle.
The same thing with them that we did with Aston Villa, where
Pay big monies.
we'll pay for Bruno G, and then we'll send Liam Delap out on a loan with a reasonable obligation that has to be triggered. And then they'll buy him off us for 40 mil at the back end of next season. But it depends on how much money we need to bring in now. Like, this is the thing, innit? Because if we sell Nicholas Jackson, that's bank. If we sell Malagusto, that's bank. We've still got Disassi, Fofana. Do you know what I mean? We've still got all of those guys to sell. Not Fofana, sorry. Benoit Badiashile. So maybe Bruno G for the 85 and a Liam Delap loan with an obligation that gets us 40 for him next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be happy. I think the midfield is going to be the next big one. What it's going to be, Henderson aside, it's the only why I'd say Alex Scott is a little bit more ahead than all of them is because we've actually bidded for him and it's been rejected. So we sort of know where it stands. There is even rumours that we're potentially going to go back in, and there's not been.
But Kai, we bid it. I think it was 65 million. Is he worth more than that?
Not for me. Not right
now. That's what I'm thinking.
But then, who is? Like, it's just the market nowadays. Like, everybody goes for ridiculous money.
The thing is, though, Alex Scott is in a reasonable position, though, because if they refuse to sell him, he's only got 18 months left on his deal, and he's only 22 years old. Breaking
news. Sorry to interrupt you there, Matt. We'll come back. Hold that thought. We'll come back to it. We have got something breaking. Breaking. No. And I said breaking. It's just been reported, but we kind of known this for a little bit. So Florian Plettenberg, Aston Villa are still in direct talks with both Nicholas Jackson's camp and Chelsea to find a solution for a permanent transfer or loan. No agreements have been reached yet. This is a very important one because, we kind of heard that the whole Morgan Rogers deal had an element of Garnacho and Nicholas Jackson involved in that deal. Matt also addressed it earlier on in the stream when he said that this could be something that happens on the back end of the transfer window to avoid that 45-day rule. But yeah, that is something that is quite interesting. Thoughts on this one, lads?
Could this be like, do you think they could give us a chunky loan fee for him?
Yeah.
So instead of doing what they did with Garnacho, where they...
Like, similar to Bayern, like maybe 15, 20 million, and then,
and then
next
million,
next summer.
Or something. Yeah. Still get some money on now.
As long as it's a reasonable obligation and it's achievable. Yeah,
Mate, I mean, Jackson better than Garnacho.
Sorry,
Garnacho's one.
Yeah.
Matt, take the reins. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Take the reins.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, I think with Aston Villa, we've got this relationship where we both keep getting in trouble with UEFA, so we're always trying to help each other with our financial struggles. And Villa need the help at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Because despite finishing in the Champions League and doing really well, having a good squad and a good manager, they're still struggling. Do you know what I mean? They're still struggling. Yeah. So I could see us greasing Aston Villa's palms in order to make this happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, if it's a loan with an obligation, I can see a loan with an obligation more likely to happen and it actually going through at Aston Villa than at Bayern. I never thought that was going to happen.
42, wasn't it? 42 appearances he had to make.
It's just, even, to be honest, even before that news came out about the 42, I just didn't see how Jackson fit Bayern.
Oh yeah, it's just because Harry Kane's there.
It just, but
73 goals in a calendar year, it's wild.
I know. But I can see the Aston Villa deal happening. I can see it. It's literally, I think they're just waiting for the time frame to, which I think it's stupid. If you want to buy a couple of players from a team, why does it matter? I get they're trying to break rules, but for me, it seems silly.
It's because basically, so let's just say Nicholas Jackson, right? So we've just bought for 117 million pounds. We've bought Aston Villa. Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa. We bought Aston Villa. Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa. If we were to then buy sell Nicholas Jackson for 65 million.
Yeah.
As of right now, Aston Villa get to register on this year's books 117 million pounds. If we were to sell them Nicholas Jackson for 65, UEFA would count that as a swap deal, and they'd have to minus 65 million pounds from the 117, which leaves you at about 60, 70 mil. So they would lose 50, 60. Sorry, they lose all of that profit on the books in a time where they are trying to make their books look good for UEFA. Yeah. UEFA are coming in and making it work for them. And this is a new thing.
We don't have the UEFA thing this season, do we? Because we're not. Yeah.
So we're going to get 42 mil for Garnacho, right? So, literally at that point, if we'd have bought Morgan Rogers for 117 and sold them Garnacho for 42, Nicholas Jackson for 65, that's 107. That means they'd have only registered 10 million profit on their books.
Oh, yeah.
For that financial year.
Do you guys think this report is triggered by the whole Danny Welbeck news, or do you think this is something that has been brewing anyway?
I think it's just been brewing. I mean, it's been going on for weeks. Since the Morgan Rogers deal, it's pretty much been every other day, if not every day, Jackson to Aston Villa still ongoing. It's just a time. It's just a waiting game until that 45 days, like Matt was just explaining there, until it's up, and then they can get it done. Whether it be
what they'll be doing now is, because Unai Emery will want him in the squad right now, won't he? So what will be happening between Aston Villa and Chelsea right now? They'll be like, is there a way for us to facilitate this before that 45-day period is over? Because that will take us right up until the end of the window. Do you know what I mean? It's like 6 weeks, isn't it? 45 days, roughly. So that's about what we've got left. Well, a little bit less. What Morgan Rogers is about a week ago.
Yep.
So in and around, that's literally how much time there is left of the transfer window. So it could be a deadline day deal. Do you know what I mean? It could literally, if they have to wait the 45 days, it genuinely could be a deadline day deal. But what they'll be doing now is, can we do the same thing we did with Garnacho? Can we do like a loan fee, or can how they'll be trying to figure out how they can facilitate this deal. It will probably happen, man. It will probably happen. Like I say, unless the only thing for me is barring João Pedro gets injured or Xabi Alonso just falls in love with
what was the loan fee for Garnacho? I can't remember.
There wasn't one.
No loan fee?
No, it's a loan with an obligation to buy for 1 year where they cover all of his salary, but they have agreed to sign him on a 4-year deal for 42.5 million at the end, as long as he meets the obligation, which is going to be like 10 games. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be something really
something silly like that. I mean, the reason why I'm a little bit concerned about this is because we did buy we did pay 170 million to Aston Villa, which is going to go on their books, but then we also given them 2 players, but without anything going on our books this year. So this is why
as many financial restrictions as they do, though, this season, being that they're in the Champions League, they've got UEFA to deal with as well, and we don't.
Mate, we've also already made 125 mil, and we've still got loads of players to sell. Like, we're not going to spend the money this season.
But the point I'm trying to make is, wouldn't it be an opportunity for Chelsea to actually recoup some of that money in this financial year by getting a reasonable fee for either Garnacho or for Jackson? Wouldn't that have made a bit more sense?
Not necessarily, because in order to facilitate, so we get Morgan Rogers right now. That's what we get. We get a Morgan Rogers shaped player in our squad for next season, and potentially before the window even opens, we've got 100 mil on our books next summer already for Garnacho and Nicholas Jackson. And do you know what I mean? It's like
which will fall into the right time frame for Europe should we qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
So that puts us 100 mil in the green before we've sold a player, bought a player, before we've done anything. But with all the prize money for Premier League and whatever else we get next season, sponsorship deals. If that happens, I still don't even know what's going on with that, to be honest. But either way, and there will be more players to sell next season as well. The way I think about it, if we didn't have 10, 15 players that were still looking to sell this season right now, I'd agree with you. I'd be like, we need but it's like, mate, we're gonna make we could make, forgetting them two, we could still make up to 400 million pounds this summer. If we sell Enzo Fernandez, we sell Malo Gusto, Benoit Badiashile, Mark Gu, Liam Delap, do you know what I mean? Emmanuel Omega, but got out on, well, maybe not him, but do you know what I mean? We've still got Trevor Chalobah. Do you know what I mean? There's and we haven't even talked about Fofana yet. We don't even know what's going on with him. We've already sold Mark Cucurella. We've already sold. What else have we sold? Tariq George.
Andre Santos.
Yeah. So we've already made 125 mil off those 3 players. We could make 400 mil this summer without.
Neto might be going as well, which is
that would be 60, 70.
Yeah. Pedro's been linked to Saudi, but apparently those reports have been squashed for 70 odd million. Malo Gusto is one that is a little bit concerning because Chelsea want a packet for him.
I don't think we're getting 75.
No.
I don't think we're getting anywhere near 75.
Can you imagine? No, I don't think so. I think maybe like 60 an absolute push, like 55 plus 5 add-ons or something, but 75 does feel a bit much. But depends on how desperate City are, man, because what I will say, City are moving slowly, aren't they? There's not lots of players at the moment that are in. So Elliot Anderson, they paid 160 mil for him. He's not coming from a Champions League team, but City have got the 115, and that's starting to be talked about again now. And there's been loads of stuff come out recently that basically says like they are guilty, like they are guilty as guilty can be, and it's not looking good for him. So you got to think like they're in the Champions League this season, and the Enzo Maresca's there, and you would think at the moment Gusto and Enzo Fernandez, even with the 115, would probably be happy to take a risk at City, and then if they do get the 115, maybe they can get sold on again. Do you know what I mean? Maybe something like that.
There'll be clauses in their contract to get out. We've seen Tottenham, loads of Tottenham players had those kind of clauses in their contracts to get out if they got relegated.
Yeah. So yeah, it might be like Man City are not moving quickly, and they are losing a lot as well. Do you know what I mean? They're losing a lot. What they got? Jeremy Monga from Leicester, as well as Elliot Anderson, and that's kind of it, I think.
Hopefully they'll get Enzo Fernandez and Malo Gusto,
That makes
and
sense, no, mate.
hopefully. Listen, I was hoping that we get something breaking today, but it looks like it's gone quite quiet on the transfer front. I guarantee you, as soon as we end the stream, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's the life of a content creator. You publish a video, and as soon as you press publish, something comes up that you're thinking, damn it, I should have waited 5 minutes.
Right, that's exactly what happened to me today with Jordan Henderson. I just done the video about Danny Welbeck, and then bang, Jordan Henderson. I was like, oh.
That's why I publish a lot of content really late, because I'm thinking to myself, these man's got to be going to bed right now, so I can publish my video without having to worry about them. But yeah, people, there is a lot happening in this transfer window. I think we are heading to the stage where there'll be more outgoings than incomings. Keep an eye out for one more marquee signing, and that's not Henderson or Welbeck. One more marquee signing should be coming in this window. The whole Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson situation, honestly, it threw me off the track, of the course. I was not expecting this, but a lot of things happened in this transfer window that were not expected. Some have been really positive. Some have been, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But all in all, there's a lot of positive vibes around Chelsea Football Club right now. Xabi Alonso coming in has done some great things. His relationship with the players, his general control, if we can call it that, his general guidance, his general approach has been one that has been felt, even though we haven't kicked a ball competitively yet. So I am really looking forward to next season. Before I let you guys go, I want to give Matt and Kai a minute to give us an insight to their channels, to their content, because both of these two lads do a mad one, especially Matt. Kai slacks a little bit from time to time, but Matt is consistent. Matt is consistent with his content, nearly daily, sometimes even multiple times a day. So you guys need to be following the Stanford Sink and Behind the Dugouts. Let me give Matt a couple of minutes to tell us a little bit about his content. Matt, take it away.
Yeah, nice one, man. My name's Matt. My channel's called The Stanford Sink. I do mostly daily Chelsea news, but also interlaced with statistical deep dives and comparisons, and we get into the nerdy stuff sometimes. I also feature on and produce a podcast once a week called the Talking Chelsea Podcast with another content creator called Jay from Talking Chelsea. And I'm on the road to 5,000 subs. I'm very, very close to it. So if any of you guys in the comments, or the chat, sorry, because I'm not used to doing lives, haven't subscribed to my channel yet, get over there, have a look, and get me close to 5k. I'd really, really appreciate it. Nice one.
You will do it, Matt. You will do it. Lads, once the stream goes live tomorrow, there will be a collab link for both Matt and Kai on this stream. So please click on it and please go check out their content. And it's the Stanford Sink. It's not hard to find. So look for it. Great channel, great content. It's there. It's there in the background. So great channel, great content. Honestly, you will be doing yourself a favor following the Stanford Sink. I think we've lost Kai for a second. Where did he go? Kai, hello. Hello, Kai.
As always.
We'll wait for Kai because I want him to give a. Oh, we just lost him totally.
I think he's probably just gone out and coming back in.
He's probably resetting. Yeah. So guys, while we're waiting for Kai to jump back on, have you hit the like button on the stream? Question. You've asked me a ton of questions. I'm asking you a question. If you've hit the like button on the stream, put a 1 in the chat. If you've hit the like button, hit put the number one in the chat. Matt camera is 16K. Matt's camera is top notch. It's top notch. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've made some upgrades recently because I'm actually making money now.
Yeah, guys, get him more money to get better cameras, better mics, better setup. Go subscribe to this Time for Sync. Listen, Matt, this is a journey that is hard. Not a lot of people know how hard it is to actually, be a content creator. People think it's easy. People think it's simple, but it's not. I remember when I first started out, literally doing everything on my phone. Then I upgraded my phone. Then I got, a computer and mics and lights and yeah. So
Soft boxes in front of me now, man. It's like a little cinema studio. It's crazy.
And it costs money. It costs money. So we're not asking for money. We're just asking for likes, which are free. Those likes, yeah. You hitting the like button literally helps us to generate revenue to allow us to give you better content. So help us to provide you with better content, and all we're asking for you to do is hit the like button, and it's free. Now I've asked you guys to put a 1 in the chat if you've hit the like button, and I'm not seeing any ones. So I'm guessing there's 27 of you currently online who have not hit the like button. I'd rather sign Mudryk than sign what? We've got Mudryk already. I don't know what you mean. I'd rather sign 100 Mudryks. Sorry, I misread it. I'd rather sign 100 Mudryks than a Henderson. To be fair, 100 can't get back into the link. It's the same link. Nothing's changed. Sorry, Kai. Try again. Just reset, Kai. Reset. I'm gonna remove you, so that might be blocking you. So just try the link again. In regards to 100 Mudryks is useless because they can't play for Chelsea. So one Henderson who can play for Chelsea is better than 100 Mudryks. Now I get what you're saying. In regards to quality, etc., but also, Henderson knows how to behave as a professional footballer. Mudryk obviously doesn't. Again, allegedly doesn't.
I get that it's not like the flashiest or most fun signing or whatever, but mate, it's like we want to win stuff, man. This is the thing. Is like it's so important to have. Like it takes so much to make a team. You know what I mean? And it's more than stats and ability and youth and potential. It's like every team need, like Gary Cahill, right? Gary Cahill was not by any means an absolutely unbelievable centre back. He was a 6 or 7 out of 10 all of the time. He was a strong character. He had leadership abilities. He wasn't absolutely phenomenal ball player or the best defender you've ever heard, but he was a part of winning his titles. You need players like that every now. Not everyone can be the star. Do you know what I mean? It's like you need to give your stars a platform. And a Jordan Henderson, a Danny Welbeck, albeit we're not getting them, a John Stones or a Granit Xhaka. These guys were never going to come in to be the stars, but we need that around the squad, man, because otherwise we've literally just got a load of kids.
This is a comment from an Arsenal fan, and surprisingly, I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So big up to you, Gunnar. Big up to you.
Oh no, 50. Fair play, mate. Fair play.
Yeah.
Although,
thank you for the subscription.
Because it is an Arsenal shirt with a bottle coming out of the top.
Oh shoot! I didn't. My eyesight. Actually, I'll take that back. Big up. Even bigger. Big up to you. Hopefully this season we can get the title and have them going back to where they deserve to be. Matt pointed it out. I didn't see the ball. The image is quite small on my screen. It looked like a guy wearing a funny hat, but yeah, big up to you. Big up to you. Listen, as Kai is unable to come back on, let me tell you something about Kai's channel. Kai, his channel is Behind the Dugouts. Fantastic channel, fantastic content. He doesn't have as much time as Matt has, or even I have when it comes to doing content, because of his schedule at work and life and whatnot. But whenever he does get an opportunity, he does smash out some really, really good content. Great content when it comes to his point of view, his rationale, the way he's thinking about certain things, the way he addresses certain things. So please go ahead and check out the channel. It's called Behind the Dugouts, and there will be a link to the channel on the collab section on this stream as of tomorrow. Great content creator. I can't speak highly about him enough. One thing though, the YouTube algorithm is not doing him any favors. So he does need your support when it comes to his content. So if you see him doing a live, doing a video, go in there, smash the like button, and show some love to his videos. Comment, interact with his videos, just to get that YouTube algorithm to kick in, because sometimes it does a mad one for us content creators. So Kai, if you're still in the chat, big up to you and thank you for partaking in the stream. Matt, big up to you and thank you for your support again in the stream. Everyone in the chat, fantastic. Thank you all so much. And if we get another mad one tomorrow, we might do another live stream. I don't know. It depends. I only plan to do one live stream a week, and that's on Sunday nights. But when things like this happen, when you get pensioners walking through the door, you gotta show your respect to the elderly and then do a stream to talk about it. But yeah, big up to everyone. Thank you all for your time. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.